Now the billing department, you use the exactly same screen as the production department, namely turn-in screen. So when you get a billing sheet and a bunch of transcripts and stuff that dropped on your desk, so that you need to go ahead and finish the billing, namely generate invoices, then you will first go to the same turn-in screen as the production did. So that's where we'll start. So go to turn-in, and let's say we're gonna build the job 11655, enter, and now as a billing person, your job mostly is the quality control or quality assurance. What I mean by that is that you are verifying the data that production or the resource actually has turned in. So these are the 3 invoices, and these are the 3 orders, and with each order, these are the service items that you look at the quadrant number 4. Now at this point, assuming that all the data entry part is correct, and the only thing you need to do is basically specify the rates that each client needs to use, and then go ahead and calculate the invoices and print them. So to set rates, you're going to come to quadrant number 3, where orders are. Now there are 2 ways you can set rates. So what we'll do now, first of all, let's say I do a lot of the insurance billing or preferred attorneys. So in RB7, you didn't have this option, where RB7 you were only able to allocate or designate a single rate table for all the orders. And but in RB8 you have the flexibility of having a different rate table for each order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my ON1 client, Daniel Berg, first. So I'm going to the view option. And now, as you can see, this client is my preferred client. They have a preferred billing rate group tied to this client. So right next to the billing rate table, simply click the binoculars, and this will pull up all the rate tables you have set up under the preferred group as an umbrella. And this time we'll just simply use the depot regular because it's not a technical transcript. So we'll simply double click it to select that, and then go ahead and save that. Now I'll move on to Stephen Pettit and Timothy Rice. Now I have 2 more orders, but at this point I could have 20 more copy orders. And obviously, certainly I do not wish to double click into every single one of those copy orders and select the rate table. Now I can select or use the concept called set rates. So go ahead and simply hit the set rates button here, and now you'll go ahead and specify a rate table for the standard client, let's say depot regular. Now this price is under the standard rate group, not the preferred. This is for my regular clients. Now once you specify the rate table, then you can say apply this rate table for all the orders by using the check all except the Daniel Berg, because I already designated a special rate table under the preferred group for that. So you do that and you simply go set, save, and close. So just like that, I specify the rate tables for all 3 orders. At this point, we'll go ahead and click the button at the top says calculate invoices, and it'll pull up all the invoices automatically selected, asking me whether I'm ready to calculate and print all invoices, or I'm still holding off one, waiting for video charges, for example. So if you are, then you can do that. Otherwise, just leave it as a default and hit the calculate button. Now once the calculate is done by the system, and I can actually check right in quadrant number 4 the actual prices. So if you click each order, and in the quadrant number 4 all the prices are now entered, and with a total at the bottom, so I can actually look at the totals, total amount for the total bill and the total for the pay. So RB8 always calculate the total amount for the client and total amount for the resource at the same time. To RBA, the payroll is not segregated from the billing process. It is the one and same. So you can simply click the rest of the orders to check your totals are correct. Now once the calculation is done, to print these invoices, simply click the button at the top called billing, and this will simply take you to the screen where those invoices are listed. Now there are 3 columns to tell you how it's going to do the actual output. So you can print invoices, you can fax them, or you can email them. Now again, this comes from each attorney's profile that you set up. Now there are 4th column we added. It's called archive, and they are always defaulted with the checked boxes. Now that means that we will create a PDF version of this invoice and we'll automatically put it into our central repository. So my recommendation is always leave those archive boxes checked so that you will have PDF invoices for your office staff, also for your clients that can download from the internet. At this point, all you have to do is simply right click and do post and send invoice. Now before you do that, if you wanted to check the invoice before you send it out, you can also go into option called preview invoice, and let's take a look at that. Now the preview screen comes up. There are several things to note here. First of all, it has the watermark going across the invoice that says draft. The reason it's draft is because we have not posted these invoices yet. So this is one of the changes that we made in RBA to protect you from fraud or the accounting mistakes, sending out the wrong invoice. So as long as invoice is not posted, it'll always have the watermark draft, so you cannot accidentally send this invoice to your client. Now at the bottom of this invoice, as you know, we are just simply printing this invoice to a blank piece of paper, blank ledger paper. But you can buy paper with the perforation, the perforation built into the paper, the 3.5 inch from the bottom, so that clients can detach that portion, bottom portion, and then slide that into a double window number 9 or number 10 envelope and come right back to you as the remit to. So it'll be very convenient for your clients if you go ahead and provide that paper with a perforation already built into there. Now if you wanted to see the detail, now whether you have the detail on the invoice or not has been predetermined when you set each client firm, their profile. You can designate whether that firm always wants the detail or not. If not, then system will usually print the invoice without the detail breakdown. But if you wanted to turn it on to check it, you can simply hit that button at the top that says turn detail on, and let's see, I'm going to go to page width, and now it'll show you individual each line item with the number of units and per unit price, which can also turn it off at the business unit setup, and a total amount, and there is the total due there. There are 2 things we need to talk about here. One, this header that says original and 1 certified copy of transcript of, well, this is not something that you selected or you typed it in. This is what RBA automatically creates. Now this is called invoice header, that which you have an option to change that. We'll see in a minute. Now bottom here, thank you, your business is appreciated, and we now take a credit card and all that. That's called invoice message. Again, it is not something you selected. It automatically defaults to the default invoice message you selected in the setup, and I'll show you in a minute how to also change that. Now since we decided to take credit cards, and I need to come up with a different bottom or remittance template. So let's see how we can change that. We're going to go to personal and user preferences, and we'll go to invoice, and there is a drop down that says select an invoice format. Right now the standard format is selected. I'm going to go to credit card template. Now you have two types where that includes American Express or not. Since we are going to select accept American Express also, I'm going to select that one and I'm going to save it. And then going back to the invoice, let's go ahead and back into the preview again. Now this time if I go scroll down, and as you can see that now we have the template or bottom remittance with a credit card box. So you can change that template anytime or for each business unit.